Hello, everybody. Today I will be breaking down another one of my tracks I made probably a month or two ago. I finally finished it, and I thought I should break down everything that I did: samples, arrangement, automation, and bring you guys through the journey, show you what I did. So I'll give you a little preview of what we're working with, and then we'll break it down. Let's go. So that's what it sounds like, pretty much. That's mostly the song. And yeah, so without further ado, let's break it down. I want to start with what I started with originally to kind of put this whole thing together. Like I said in my last video, I start with the sample, or I start with some type of rhythm, usually, to help me get the feel of what I'm going to make. And it happened to be this perk vinyl right here. Let's close actually all this here. Whoa. Okay. Calm down here. It started with this. It was a sample from Cousin Wake the Town EP. I have it right here. I'll throw a picture up on the screen though, but yeah. And one of the songs on that album has a really, really nice bongo rhythmic thing that sounds like this. Oh. And I put delay, reverb. This is what it sounds like. So what I did was, you can hear the delay in the back. That's just a send right here, I think. Yeah. It's a lot of delay right there. Especially at the beginning of the track, if we could just take a look at the automation actually. As you can see here, the delay goes up, down when you get in the song. You guys know. So this little perk loop I chopped up, and it actually went through the modular and went through one of my reverb and delay modules, and I kind of just played around with it. So as you can see here, the little, spikes of reverb, that was kind of, you know what? I actually think it wasn't through the module. I think that's just what it sounds like. And then I added EQ, take out some lows. I added a phaser, flanger, and a little bit of saturation. Lot of delay at the beginning. So it started with that. That was the main rhythm. And then I think I added the kick next, which is important to me because it kind of gives the heart of the track. And for this kick, I used Kick 2, which I got recently. I watched a Polygonia breakdown video. That's kind of where the inspiration is for most of this. And it's just a nice little kick sound engine, which is very customizable. You can do a lot of stuff, customize clicks. You have the pitch envelope, you have the, attack, decay, sustain, all that stuff. And you can also sample from it, which is cool. You can design a kick, sample it out, and just drag it in back into Ableton, which is nice. And so I just came up with a very simple nothing too crazy. And I have Roar on it, which is a saturator from Ableton. It kind of just adds a little bit of juice, punch. Without it, it sounds a lot different. Then I have a little compressor on it and an auto filter for arrangement purposes. Pretty sure that it's on right here. Yeah. So at the very beginning, I just take this filter, move it up, automation stuff. So yeah, that's that. And there's a little variation here with a different kick. As you can see with the color, I changed it up a bit. But yeah, it's a very simple kick. I didn't do too much. And yeah, I guess we'll do the snare next. The snare is pretty simple. I used a simpler. Simpler. And yeah, the thing I like about, I used to work in FL Studio, and something that's different that I like a lot about Ableton is this drum rack. I'm sure there's a way to use something similar to this in FL Studio, but I never got into it. I never looked into it. It's one of those things where you have Ableton and you just use it. You just end up using it. So I just went up here, Control F, and search for a snare, and I have a giant library of kits here. As you can see, I've collected this for the 10 years I've been making music. So a line of snares came down. I dragged 4 of them in here, and looks like I only ended up using 3. But I have this pattern here, layering, making it hit on more variable instances. So it sounds a little different. It sounds like it's moving. It's not all static, which I think is very important when you're making music. Something that I've learned over time is making your music sound like it's a moving organism. So I just added an EQ, took out the lows. Important. Don't want to muddy up the mix. That's a tip for you guys. Sorry, I'm doing that awkward thing. I don't know why I'm doing that. I added a little bit of reverb. So without it, very, very subtle. Can't even notice it when you have everything else playing. And then a limiter, because I think it was touching some peaks. So let's go back down to the tops, the other perks. I plugged this into my modular, and I plugged it into the data bender. As before in my previous video, it's pretty much a CD glitch emulator type of thing. So I ran a pattern of the RD8 from Behringer, and sorry, it's really delayed. So initially, I'm pretty sure I have it plugged in through a filter, and I'm modulating the filter a little bit, so it kind of sounds like it's wishy and washy, And those little glitches, those tiny little stereo glitches, are from the data bender. Also have a little clap in there, which is interesting. I just chopped it up, looped it, adds a little bit of depth, adds a little bit of rhythm, especially when you play the whole thing. You don't hear too much of the ear candy. It's kind of subtly layered in. So it fills the track, but it's not overpowering, which is important. I also have, this is a fun story. Oh, and the effects, I just have a reverb on this. I think most of this sound was effects putting into Ableton. It was mostly modular. So it's hard to explain what I did. Not really sure exactly what I did, but a lot of filtering, a lot of glitchy stuff, like I said before. This perk right here is all Ableton, mostly done in Ableton. It started with, I'm just going to turn all of this off. Sorry if my mouse is moving a little slow. I have a trackball mouse, and it's a little less accurate, but it helps with my hand pain. But you guys aren't here for that. You guys are here for some music. So this is a sample I recorded on my Tascam. I went to a friend's house, and they had a chicken coop with some ducks, some chickens, and I sampled it. Let's see if I can show you guys what it sounds like. So there's a lot of delay on it, and I don't know why there's a lot of delay on it. I think it's because, I don't know, but you can hear it. Sounds really nice, actually. So what I did, I pretty much put it in the slicer, left it how it was. I didn't change any of the settings here. I kind of just let it chop it up. And then I threw it in, I live played it just on my keyboard, I believe. I didn't add any, yeah. Oh, maybe I added, not sure. But I just have a pattern here. Very simple pattern. Honestly, just chopped it up randomly and tried to make it sound rhythmic along with the other stuff. So kind of just, obviously the effects aren't on, so without the effects. Added an auto pan. If you had headphones, you can hear that. A little bit of reverb. Smallish decay in size. Kind of just sounds like it's echoing off inside of, sounds like an underpass of a bridge, under a bridge. A very small, tight underpass. EQ, took out the lows. And then another delay, which, and that delay is what gives it the little head. Right. Play it with all the tops, as I call it. And you got a nice little groove. Good stuff right there. Next, we have what I just labeled as synthy alien bass. This was another modular recording. I believe, yeah, I just chopped it up. You can't really see the original, but it was originally just a patch on my modular. I'm pretty sure it was the Instro CSL basic synth. I mean, not basic, but it's like a complex 2 voice oscillator. And I just pretty sure I played around with the filter and recorded it. Obviously, I have some effects on it, quite a bit of effects on it, which I will take off and show you guys. So that's the original. A lot more bass, a lot heavier bass. I mean, maybe I should keep that bass in. It's too late. I don't want to change it. But added some EQ. I think with this, I remember I played it out so it would just be recording through the whole song, and I didn't like it. I actually hated it, I remember, and I spent so much time chopping it up, laying it down. I had multiple versions of this, so what I would do is I pretty much just duplicate this over and over, try to find new rhythms. And I came to this. As you can see, it's pretty chopped up randomly. Not randomly, but to taste, I guess you could say. I added an echo, and there's a lot of automation on it, which you could see. I think I just went in and hand-did that with the mouse. I didn't record. So a lot of movement. So the delay's not leaking into anything. It's not too overbearing. Because if the echo was on the whole time with the dry and wet boosted up, the whole song would sound way too much going on, too much stereo information. It wouldn't sound good. I added an auto filter here, which I believe is being moved by, if you go into the kick, if you saw earlier, I have an envelope follower, which every time the kick hits, this little spike is then transferred all the way here to this auto filter. So every time the kick hits, this jolts. Yeah. So, I mean, if you hear it adjacent to the... You can see right here, every time the kick hits, the filter changes on the alien bass. And that's a trick I've started to do recently. Instead of just adding a LFO kind of on beat or not even just random, it's nice to have an envelope follower. You can kind of attach the kick to the synth in a way that's creative and easy. It's very easy. You can just, the movement does itself. You don't have to do anything else, which is nice. And it's another good way to give movement, give it an organic feel. I then added another phaser. Oh, sorry. Settings are pretty basic. Just turn the warmth up, I'm pretty sure. And then last, roar. Just added a little bit of drive, tone down, output down a little bit. Not sure what else I did here, but that's the final sound with that. If you go here, I kind of layered it. So there's this point in the song where it breaks, I believe. Yeah. So the snare, the kick, the snare stops, and I added a layer, I believe another layer of the alien, which is pitched up 12 semitones, which is just an octave. So together gives another little flavor right there. All the effects are the same, except on this high pitch one, I added a spectral resonator, which is only used, as you can see right here, the dry wet is at 0%. And I only automated it, if we show the automation here, just in this part of the song. It gets raised. It looks like I played that, just press record and hit the dry wet. So spectral resonator is really fun to use. It makes a sound insane. I don't know. You can see right here. The dry wet going up and down. So utilize that. Automation is important. I've learned that you just got to use it if you want to make something that sounds cohesive. There were so many times. I mean, also, like, sometimes I can't even lie. I'm lazy too when I make music and I don't add any. I mean, when you add something like this, it's a bit tedious. It's another extra step with a sound that you've already, I mean, I already recorded, patched, chopped it up, but I decided to take it further here, which, I mean, can only be fueled from an inspiration and an obsession that I had at this moment. And so I just added automation here, and when you hear it in the full song, I'm glad I did it, because if I didn't do it, it's not as much flavor, it's a little bit of seasoning, right? Yes. So that's that. We have a couple more sounds here. This sound is just from a sample pack. I believe it is from Chain Data. So shout out to Chain Data. That's it. Sorry. I'll take off the effects. I think I just have, just these two, echo and an auto filter. Auto filters for automation purposes. I'm going to keep saying that over and over. I know it might be annoying, but the EQ is necessary. Here's it without EQ. If you have headphones on, you can really hear the kind of sharp frequencies. So I took some EQ, sharpened it up a bit, a little bit of echo, just a tiny bit of delay. It's actually a very long delay. You can hear it kind of go for a while. Goes for a while, which is interesting. Sometimes I surprise myself with the decisions I make. And then the auto filter, frequency and resonator. What? That's right? Resonate? Why am I tweaking? Yeah. Automated, as you could see. Filter. I guess this is just the break in the sound in the song. Over here earlier, there's no auto filter. It's just kept by itself. So a good place to put automation is in between bridges of the track. It's nice. It's very nice. And then here, another sample from an OP1. I believe it was also Chain Data right here. Yeah. Couple sounds in there. I'm giving you guys the kit sauce. So go and get you some Chain Data. Shout out to Chain Data. These were on his Patreon, so pay for the Patreon. Here's what it sounds like. That's the full song. Very interesting. That's what it sounds like. I don't know what else. It's just this kit from whatever. Added some EQ, some reverb, some simple but small panning. And then I also have a break for, looks like 6 times only in the song. This is a random break. I don't know where from. I tried looking before I started to record. I couldn't find where it was from. I think it's just from one of my kits. And that's just before, the end of an 8-bar. Or end of, and there's a good amount of delay on it. I also EQ'd it, so this is what pretty raw. If I extend this, that's what it originally sounds like. Added some EQ, took out the lows, and then some crazy delay, ping pong delay. and it just leaks into there. So when you hear it, sounds really great. Sounds really good right there. And lastly, but not leastly, is that right? Is the vocal chops, which I got from a record I found in Ashland, Oregon, Summer in the City of the Wind, IL. This is a very interesting, fun record. I was in Ashland, Oregon. And went into a random record shop, found this digging. It was one of those thrift stores where the vinyl was a little overpriced, and there was just this one tiny bin. But I said, fuck it. I wanted this. I wanted to be reminded of Ashland, Oregon. I was there for a Shakespearean play. Anyway, but I got a part of that vinyl is there's an acapella section, which is very common, I'd say, with like rap and hip hop on vinyl. So I have the original right here, and this is what I got it from.
Rock to this, and I rhyme for the loud metropolis, cause my kind of town Chicago is, my kind of town Chicago is. Made man most effective, excellent synopsis, paid a non-profit high times triple optics.
Obviously the reverb and delay are on there, so.
Rock to this, and I rhyme for the loud metropolis, cause
that's what it sounds like originally. And I just chopped it up, just took walk to this.
Rock to this.
I pitched it down, added delay, added reverb,
Rock to this.
EQ.
Rock to this.
And there's that big flush of reverb, which is just these sends right here. Just reverb settings, this KHS plugin, which is free, which you guys should get. I have a dual delay and a reverb, which are just being sent, which this is just being sent to on this. So if we, I don't know why I can't see the automation here. I don't know, Ableton, like that. But yeah.
Rock to this. Rock to this.
Simple, easy.
Rock to this. Metropolis.
I just chopped it up a little bit, and then I added a little pop right here, which I took from the acapella as well.
Pop, 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 pop.
Long delay on it. Lots of feedback.
Pop, 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 pop.
Added a phaser, flanger, and that's it. That is the song. It's nothing too crazy. It's actually really simple. Now that I'm breaking it down, I'm like, there's not that many elements, but I think the elements I used were full. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I explained myself well. I haven't done this in a while, and I was kind of really fiending to do it because I enjoyed the last one I did, which is up on my YouTube. Check it out. I'm excited about this track. I submitted it to be in a VA comp later this summer, which it did get in, so it will be released on a label later in the year, mid 2026. So keep an eye out. So right now this is unreleased. DM me for the unreleased track that you could, play at your parties, do crazy stuff with. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much if you stayed all the way and you actually were like, okay, wait, these are good tips. These are good tips. Let me know in the comments. If not, this might get 20 views, and that's okay. I just wanted to do this for you and me. Someone who, if you're watching until right now, dap me up. Actually, I like you a lot. I really do. So thank you for being here. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment. But in all seriousness, I hope this helped. Maybe it sparked a little bit of inspiration. Get in Ableton, get in the studio and make something cool. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Maybe I'll break it down another track. Maybe I'll do another jam. But for now, I hope everyone has a great 2026. And ciao.